was a little apprehensive. I thought there might be a little bit of rain, so I said, God, not one drop, not one drop. And I think he listened to me, so I'm very pleased about that. My name is Lynn Rossini, the Vice President of Philanthropy of Hartford Hospital. And on behalf of Cheryl Garlick, my predecessor, who will be retiring in 1 week. Yes, 1 week. And on behalf of the leadership of Hartford Hospital and the philanthropy team, I'm so honored to have all of you here today for this special and very long overdue ribbon cutting. We've been looking forward to this day for a very long time, an opportunity to bring the alumni together and the Springer family to christen this beautiful fountain. We are incredibly grateful to those who have played such a special role in making the Springer Courtyard possible, and of course, the fountain as well. I want to begin by recognizing the School of Nursing Alumnae Association. If we could give them a hand, please. And Dr. Evan Fox and family, Mr. and Mrs. Hinks, Dr. and Mrs. Lenworth Jacobs. Dr. Jacobs, thank you very much. Eric and Penny Mazziali, Mr. and Mrs. Palmer, and Doris Thomas and the late Pete Thomas. Your support has been instrumental in bringing this quiet, beautiful retreat to fruition, and for that we are truly grateful. Thank you so very much. And this day could not go by without me recognizing Cheryl Garlick. Cheryl, I want to take a moment to recognize you for your skillful leadership, especially in reference to Hartford Hospital's long tradition of philanthropy. Over the years, you have brought together countless friends of Hartford Hospital and passionately shared our mission with our community. Because of you, our patients, our families, our colleagues, our entire community has benefited. Your dedication has made possible the following: the Bone and Joint Institute, the mobile mammography van, the Cancer Treatment Innovation Unit, expansion of the Bliss Building, renovations to the Critical Care Unit, health equity programs, the COVID-19 Response Fund, and the success, of course, of Black and Red. I know I'm just skimming the surface, Cheryl. You have advanced Hartford Hospital and HHC's important work with extraordinary care. How fortunate are we to have experienced your thoughtful leadership. Thank you so much. And on a personal note, I've had the opportunity to spend the last 6 months with Cheryl, and I cannot begin to tell you what a blessing it has been for me. Quite honestly, I thought it was really quite genius of Bimmel to recommend this type of transition, and I will forever be grateful to you, Bimmel, and to Cheryl, and to the leadership for making this happen. So thank you very, very much. It's been just an extraordinary time for me, and I will never forget it, so thank you very much. And now, next, Cheryl Vaccaro, Senior VP of Operations, Hartford Hospital.
So welcome to the Springer family and our alumni. So great to see you today. So I want to just give a little background of this wonderful, serene place. Mr. Springer, it was at the helm of Hartford Hospital for over 10 years, from 1977 to 1988. Under his leadership, we developed our transplant program, our trauma program, our LifeStar. All were developed under his leadership. It's really hard to imagine, for me especially, this institution without these life-saving, innovative initiatives that were brought to life during Mr. Springer's tenure. He was an extremely beloved leader and had a passion really for lifting up Hartford Hospital to its highest potential. He was gracious, warm, and very inspiring. Nurses at the hospital, as well as all the rest of the employees, held him in the greatest regard. He took the time to remember names and faces he was rounding consistently throughout the organization, and was always interested in the lives, both personally and professionally, of those that worked at Hartford. If it was important to you as a person, it was important to John. This courtyard and the fountain at the center really memorializes John Springer, along with the dedicated nurses who walked this campus and healed countless patients day after day, year after year. The Hartford Hospital School of Nursing was a very influential learning institution from 1877 until 1976, shaping generations and educating generations of nurses year after year. To this day, our alumni, many represented here who I know very well, is a vibrant and active group, giving back to our hospital in so many ways each and every year. We owe you such debt of gratitude. Thank you. You stood by us through thick and thin, most recently during your time and support in our COVID, in all of our COVID times and those difficult times, and you were here for our nurses as well as the rest of the employees, so thank you. And although our pandemic is not quite in the rearview mirror yet, the gift of this unbelievably serene space will provide much needed respite and a place to reflect and recharge for our team members. The fountain itself is is very sentimental, and for me personally, I only got to see parts of the original, but it brings back many images and memories as the centerpiece originally stood in our Hubline Courtyard for the old School of Nursing. The original fountain was a similar sculpture of a heron, very majestic, a lot similar to the way this one looks. This new focal point is extremely refreshing and brings to me back to the time and the inspiration for not only this space, but for our future generations of nurses that you've all impacted and supported through your years here. We want to thank you all for your gift to restore this courtyard and make it a beautiful space. It's a beautiful way to honor Mr. Springer and to truly reflect the legacy of the School of Nursing. And I think that Lynn just jinxed us talking about no rain. Sorry, thank you, everyone. And now I'd like to have Betty Ann Fusco come on up from our Nursing Alumni.
Good morning. Wow, I can't believe we're finally here on this beautiful day with a little showers, but so what? And to see our fountain spouting water is just unbelievable. The Alumni Association wants to thank everyone, and loads of people had a part in getting this fountain off the ground, if you want to say. Starting with Cheryl, who we first got permission from, and then Carol, who took over, and then Bimmel, and then Jeff, and then Bethany, and on and on and on. We thank you for giving us this opportunity. It was over 10 years ago that my class had an idea to donate something to Hartford Hospital on our 50th reunion, to be held in 5 years. We celebrated our 55th reunion just last week. Best of plans. Anyway, and I wanted to give you a quick history of the fountain. Cheryl did give you some. I'm going to give it from a student nurse's perspective. It was found in 1920, and it was the Hubline family donated a building called Hybline Hall, or Hubline Hall. My parents, in the old days, it was always called Hybline, but now it's Hubline, okay, Hall. And that was on Jefferson Street, and was part of the residence of the student nurses. There was a courtyard garden and a beautiful white fountain. Was it a he or a she? We always wondered. Was it a crane, an egret, a heron, or a swan? In time, when it was not cleaned all the time, it turned a little rusty color, and resembling some of the patients that we cared for at times. And thus it became named hepatitis. Unfortunately, when the School of Nursing moved to its new location on Hudson Street, hepatitis met his demise. My class decided to donate the fountain to Hartford Hospital, and we soon realized that we could not possibly finance the whole project. And so we asked for the Alumni Association's help, which was granted. A week ago at the annual Hartford Hospital School of Nursing Alumni Association banquet, with 180 alumni in attendance, I read at that time the legend of the fountain called hepatitis. It was a synopsis of the history since 1920 of our beloved fountain. After taking them on a tour of the various locations that we had looked at in the Hartford Hospital campus, of all of them over the whole 8 years, it was finally decided that it would come to the Springer Memorial Garden. And let me tell you, the Alumni Association, all 180 of them, were ecstatic when they knew that it was going to be located here with John Springer in memory of him. He and sometimes Mrs. Springer faithfully attended our banquets, and this love of nursing was evident. You never knew when John Springer was going to stroll up on your unit, no matter what shift you were working. And at that time, he would converse with patients, staff, family, nurses. Didn't matter. He was just strolling around and was so very nice and quiet in his demeanor and non-threatening, and just accepted us as family members. Didn't matter what subject we were talking about, he was right there. Okay, my unit probably received a few more visits, mainly because we were lucky to have Susie, his daughter, one of our staff members. Maybe she played part of the role in his love of nursing. But I think he loved nursing before she even entered the school, any school of nursing. The Hartford Hospital Alumni Association is proud and honored to donate this fountain in memory of John Springer, with our respect and love of his encouragement to the nursing profession and to Hartford Hospital for the 99 years it dedicated to training exceptional nurses. And may those who visit this garden and listen to the silent waters of the fountain, may they also find the peace and tranquility that we enjoyed as student nurses many years ago. Thank you. Which will I drop? Okay. Is that too long? I'm sorry.
And now I would like to introduce the beautiful Springer daughters to come up here and say a few words. So if all of you could just come up and say a few words.
Hello, I'm Kelly Springer Braun, And I just want to start by saying thank you to everybody that has made this possible. And I know that you feel that it's taken longer than usual, but I think things happen when they're supposed to. And I think this happening now is perfect with all the uncertainty and fear and isolation that's happened in the world. This is perfect to bring people together, to connect in solace and hope and education. It's perfect. John Kelly Springer, our dad, would be so proud that this is happening, and this is perfect. He loved the nurses, he loved education, and he is going to be so ecstatic to just know that people are sitting here and have solace and hope and learning to care for mankind in a kind way. And that he will share his strength and his presence as they sit here and study and learn and everything. So thank you so much. We know he's here.
Okay, I'm Dana, number 2 daughter, and wow, I just know that he wants to thank you personally for being here. And my dad, what I know about my dad is how much he loved the Lord and how much he loved my mother and how much he loved, well, you gotta say Dartmouth College and the Marine Corps too, and football. But wow, did he love Hartford Hospital. And boy, oh boy, he knew what made Hartford Hospital tick, and that was the nurses. And thank you so much. He knew that you were the heartbeat of the hospital, and he wanted to keep you happy. And I'd have to say my fondest memory of Hartford Hospital is on Christmas morning, walking around saying Merry Christmas to everyone who had to work on that day. And did we love walking behind my dad, and his pace was so fast and you just had to keep up. But I do have to say my favorite of all time was when we went into Katharine Hepburn's room at Christmas time. And my sister Susie sat on her bed and she said, "Now, John, I see you. Susan, that's perfectly fine. You can sit on my bed." So anyhow, I do have to just say also, Len Jacobs, my dad was so proud of himself for snatching him from Boston. Len, thank you. The Hartford Hospital Life Star program, the nursing program, and I don't know if I'm stealing somebody's words, but we were just reminded when Dad died and we were in the funeral home and we were trying to figure out where to have the money go. And Len, in his kindest, most loving way, said, how about the Life Star program? That might be a good idea. We were all like, ha-ha, that's a good one. So anyhow, thank you all. Evan Fox, thank you for being here today. And for those of you who contributed money and the nurses who spent their time working on hepatitis, where his home was going to be, and this is just perfect. The one thing I would end with for my dad is he loved humor. So you nurses, as you roll through this COVID and this pandemic and how heart-wrenching it is and difficult, take the time to come out here and say a little prayer and just remember that we are going to get through this. Thank you for your love.
Hi, I'm Nellie Springer Krause, and I didn't really prepare anything. I just wanted to talk from my heart. And Kelly, when my dad got his diagnosis, we went straight to Florida that day, December 4th, and it was no question. He did not want to be cared for in Florida. He wanted to come here to his home. And I just want to thank everyone here that cared for him, doctors, nurses, all the people that dedicated their time and efforts to get this beautiful fountain that will continue his legacy here at Hartford Hospital. So thank you. He was at home, he was at peace, he was never upset, and it was just beautiful to see the place that he called home, caring for him in his illness. I just wanted to thank you. So every day, I strive to be more like John Kelly Springer.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. I've never had the privilege of meeting Mr. Springer, but listening to his beautiful daughters, who are absolutely fearless and strong and so loving, I feel like I know him now. So thank you for sharing your sentiments with all of us. It was really very, very special. And for all of you to come from all directions, whether it was Boston or Philadelphia or New Hampshire, that really says a lot. Thank you all so very much. And now I'm going to turn it over to Bimal Patel, President of the Hartford Region and Senior VP of Hartford Healthcare. Bimal, please.
Good afternoon and welcome. A wonderful celebration of history and recognition of remarkable journey of variety of different things Hartford Hospital stood for and folks who stood for Hartford Hospital. By listening here for John's journey, his commitments, while I never had a chance to meet him, but I feel like I meet him every year through the eyes and the talks and the sheer presence of the family. Every year that when I see you, it's an inspiration to walk the same way John walked on this campus. And the feeling of carrying that legacy in a way that he did really is true inspiration for me personally, and today is one of those steps, a monumental step that will recognize and celebrate his contributions, not just in terms of the years he spent, but the impact he made on people. It's also a celebration of our journey and contributions of our nursing school and what it did for Hartford Hospital and subsequently for our patients in our communities. And we couldn't be more thankful and grateful for combining those two that are the backbone of what Hartford Hospital is today. And I'm grateful to stand here and welcome you on such an auspicious day. The raindrops is a symbolic nature. It's a blessing coming from folks who cared for once for this organization and these communities. And it's a symbolic nature that why it meant to be. The sound of the fountain, the presence of the family, all the nursing school alums who are here, and the folks who cherished those journeys and who led the work are gathering here on this campus on a beautiful space. I just want to say thank you. I want to thank the team that made this possible, even though we know it took a long time. All good things take time, and we are here today. It is my pleasure to invite the family, the Springer family, to come here, and also the nursing alum communities and the president of the Alumni Association, Betty, if you could come and join me in the ribbon cutting of this great space, which will serve for many, many years to the folks who work on this wonderful campus. Thank you.